This week on Cruising.
Started with 2 frame rails and done everything but the paint and the machine work on the engine.
I'd be reluctant to haul fertilizer in this truck.
Fanciest trunk I ever saw.
You'll have to agree, this boot is unbelievable.
You feel every bump, every rattle. If I drive over a nickel or a dime, I can tell you if it's a head or tail.
Talk about a stiff ride. Heads, I win. Plus.
A lot of customers bring us parts, but when they bring us the parts, what happens is mostly they're wrong.
Nate from the Buckeye Guys shows you how to find the parts you need. Cruising from Milan and Cleveland, Ohio starts now. Hello everyone and welcome to Cruisin'. I'm Will Burge and this week we have a double dose for you. That's right, a little bit later on we're going to be at the aquarium in downtown Cleveland, but right now we're in Milan, Ohio at the Cruisin' on the Square. It's the birthplace of Thomas Edison and the cars are electric, so let's get started. This is an absolutely beautiful ride behind you. What do you got?
Thank you, 50 Chevy, Bel Air, 2-door hardtop. 1950 was the first year for the 2-door hardtop, so Chevrolet.
How long have you had it?
Well, I don't know, I had it about 8 years, I guess. I finished it 5 years ago.
Oh, okay, so you put a couple years work into it?
Yep.
What was it like when you first got it?
Well, it was basically a parts car.
Really? A parts car to this? No, that's...
Well, yeah, that's a challenge, you know.
Yeah, it must have been. How much work did you actually put into it? What have you done to it?
Altered the grill a bit. There used to be a post here. Set these back a ways. Frenched the headlights. Peaked the hood. The tail lights are 58 Chevy lenses.
How much of this did you do yourself?
I did it all, including the paint, except the interior, and my son-in-law did the machine work on the engine.
What got you into this in the first place?
Oh, I've enjoyed working on cars all my life. I retired and had a little extra money so we could fix up some old ones. Went to Florida for a couple months, a couple times, hauled all the stainless and my buffer down there and buffed the stainless in Florida.
So you did some of the work on vacation?
Yeah.
Now that's a passion for something right there.
There you go.
How about the trunk? It's gorgeous. It looks better than most people.
Yeah, I told Abraham use his own judgment. I just wanted to have it upholstered. Fanciest trunk I ever saw. I hadn't anticipated quite that elaborate for the trunk.
I also love the color combination, the hard top. What do you call that color? I know it's not brown. They're never just brown. What is it?
Well, I don't know. It's called chamois, which is darker than any chamois skin I ever saw. This is French vanilla, GM color.
Did you pick out the color?
Yeah, it was just my wife mainly, you know.
You gotta leave it to her. She probably did a better job, huh?
That's for sure.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it out and showing it to us. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Appreciate you looking at it.
All right, Keith, well, this is a beautiful truck you got here. How long have you had it?
I built it, I've had it running a year, and it took me 10 years to build.
10 years it took you to build it. So just a project you've been tinkering with for a long time?
Yes.
Well, before we get to actually what you did with it, your name's Keith.
Yes.
It's Joe's Fertilizer Service. Who's Joe?
Joe's my dog.
Oh, okay, so it actually is a fertilizer service.
Yes, he fertilizes my yard.
And there's a significance to the phone number, correct?
Yes.
And what is that?
If you push the numbers, it'll spell dog poop.
Oh, well, there you go. It's perfect. You never forget it.
Yes.
So what all have you done to this?
I started just with 2 frame rails.
Wow.
And started with 2 frame rails and done everything but the paint and the machine work on the engine.
How'd you come up with the color? Did you pick that yourself?
This is Oliver Tractor Green. I was going to paint it myself, and a gentleman and I made a deal that he painted, and I said I wanted Oliver Tractor Green.
And in the fertilizer service part, that too is just the same thing, just kind of came to you one day? Or?
Yeah, it just came to me one day. Everybody else puts hot rod shops on theirs, and they were used for farm trucks.
I think it's funny. I was walking around asking everybody where Joe was, and little did I know I was asking for your dog. So how much of this is actually still, an original style, or is it most of it redone?
Everything's original style. The only thing that's different is like the taillights, some of the chrome trims off of it, and actually it's a 1954 fire truck cab. Some gentleman gave it to me.
Oh, wow. How tough was it putting all that together? Did it fit together pretty well, or is it...
Most of it fit together pretty well, yes. I had a little tinkering here and there as normal, but we handled it.
10 years, is there any point you just said, you know what, I don't know if it's worth it, or is it a project of passion?
No, I've raced with my brother for zillions of years, and I had all kinds of other projects that I never finished. and this one was going to get finished no matter what.
That's very cool. I'd imagine the people love seeing it cruise by with the Joe's Fertilizer service.
Yeah, I get a lot of thumbs up.
Now, is that anybody's actual phone number? That's the thing we got to worry about here.
That is somebody's phone.
Is it really? Did you have to call them and let them know that their number spells dog crap?
I did not. That's why I didn't put the area code.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Has the dog ever ridden in it? That's a good question.
One time. He doesn't care for the sound of the engine that much, so he doesn't ride in it that much.
What kind of dog is he?
He's just a mutt, just a 70-pound lap dog.
70 pounds. Oh, so you got a lot of fertilizer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, Sherman, what do you got here?
1961 Comet, barn find.
That's a beautiful ride.
Well, it's not real fast, but it gets me there and back in one piece, so.
How long have you had it?
I've had it 5 years.
Were you out looking for one of these, or was it something you stumbled across?
Well, I was looking for something that was oddball, that everybody don't have. You look around, you see a lot of Chevys, Fords, 55, 56s, you know, stuff like that.
Now, where did you find this?
The car was locally bought by a lady here in Milan, and I'm the third owner of it.
Wow.
So, probably been in Erie and Huron County all of its life.
Wow, that's great. So have you done much work to it, or?
Not really. It's basically just the way I found it. It's got the original interior, original motor, transmission, original color, paint.
Original Hula Girl?
Nah, it was original many
aftermarket.
years ago, you know, but that's just like the cat in the back, you know. It took me forever to find that. That was when I was a kid. I had one in a '59 Chevy.
Also, a little throwback to your youth there, too. Huh?
Yes, it is.
What makes this one so different? What's this specific model and year? What's so different about it?
Well, for one thing, if you look at it, it's not a Mercury. It's a Comet that stands alone for 60 and 61. So 60 and 61, it was called a Comet only. And then after that, in 62, they started calling them Mercury Comets. There's not a Mercury emblem on this car anyplace.
So it's aged, but the quality is not diminished.
Right.
Just like yourself, huh?
Well, I guess I can't say too much about that part of it. I won't on camera, let's put it that way.
Well, I appreciate you showing us the ride. It's gorgeous. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Appreciate it.
Well, that's it for us here on the Cruise In on the Square, but we're not done yet. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll send things over to Leah Haslich. She's in downtown Cleveland at the aquarium with more great cars, so don't go anywhere. From project to pride and joy, the restoration specialists at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration can make your dreams come true. Our master body, paint, and mechanical technicians have over 100 years of experience. They do research, can communicate every detail of the restoration process, and their restorations win big-time awards. Buckeye Classic Car Restoration cars have been winning awards since 2001. Let the restoration specialists at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration turn your project into an award winner.
Welcome back to Cruisin'. I'm Leah Haslich. We're here at the Greater Cleveland Aquarium for the Ground Pounders Custom Car Show. Bill, your 1935 Ford pickup truck isn't something you just bought, it's something you've put your heart into. Tell us about this.
That's true. I had a vision in my head. I wanted to build a vehicle to pay tribute to my dad and my grandfather's business, and I've always been a big rockabilly music fan, and the 1935-36 Ford has been considered one of the most iconic kind of trucks for that kind of scene. So that's what I decided I wanted to build. It was modeled after my dad's gas station, my grandfather's gas station in Cleveland, Ohio. It was opened in 1949. It was an old Atlantic gas station.
And that's why the whole service truck look.
Correct. Sort of like a hot rod, old service truck theme is what we were going after. I had a vision in my head and I stuck to it. I didn't defer from it whatsoever. I didn't compromise, and that's what you get when it takes 4.5 years, but this is what the finished product looks like. The car has the name on it on the dashboard, Mary Ann. Those are my two grandmas who passed away. We put their names together to name. Every car should have a name, and most of the time guys name their cars after ladies. So I chose my grandparents, because they helped raise me and things of that nature. And just the whole thing in general is just, it's a dedication to the people that helped me grow up.
Any other unique details about the truck that people should know about?
It's got 4 functional carburetors. It's got suicide doors. It's got bias ply tires. It's built about as close to old school as you could possibly do it. It's not the safest car to ride, but it's the coolest car to ride. You feel every bump, every rattle. If I drive over a nickel or a dime, I can tell you if it's a head or tail. But it's cool to see people videotaping you as you go down the road, or give you a thumbs up. It just verifies that people appreciate what you did.
Well, I'm sure your father and grandfather are very proud.
I hope so. That's the whole idea.
Vince, tell us what inspired you to get your 1948 Chevy Coupe.
I just absolutely fell in love with it when I saw it the very first time. And it was like, I was always a Bel Air person to get a Bel Air. Then I found this and it was like, I'm over. I gotta have that one. She was actually in a car magazine under the title Fuzzy Peach.
Now people mistaken the color, don't they?
Oh, they constantly mistake the color. But you know, sometimes they'll go, it's salmon, other times it's pink, and then they go, that's a horrible color. I had one guy tell me that's a girl's car. I was like, really? Okay, buddy, whatever you feel like you want to say to me, it doesn't bother me.
But what do you actually call the color?
It's actually a Hawaiian peach, a custom-made color.
And then you have the Hawaiian girl inside. Yes. Tell us about her.
That's just, I looked at what that meant, and it was something that was brought back from the war, from Hawaii, from the troops who came back and then started to build hot rods when they came back as a pastime. So they adopted the Hawaiian dancing girl as something to do with their memory of Hawaii and fighting. So I liked that idea, so I put one in my car, and it just happens to match the same color as the car as well, which was lucky.
And it has a very rock and roll element. I thought ZZ Top right away when I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very different. I've never seen another one like it. That's what made me just draw to it as soon as I saw it. It doesn't do a lot to the gallon either. It's a thirsty beast. He thinks I own a gas station. He sees one every time and wants to go to it.
Next up,
Basically, the same companies in Taiwan make all the parts.
the Buckeye Guys share their tips on cruising.
Welcome to this edition of Cruising with the Buckeye Guys. What we do here is a lot of parts sourcing and a lot of parts inventorying and parts gathering, let's say. But what we have to do is we get a project in here, we look at all the parts we got, put a list together, and come up with a plan. Now, with the parts for cars, what happens is, and if you can see in the camera, this box of parts, this just came in here with a customer's car. He already bought these items. A lot of customers bring us parts, but when they bring us the parts, what happens is mostly they're wrong. The research wasn't done or they don't need them. So just a little more work for us at the end of the day to actually see what they need for the restoration project. Do the research first before you go buy any parts. If you're doing a full restoration, take the whole car apart, media blast the whole thing, and see what you got before you start buying parts. Sometimes you don't even need them. You know, on most restorations, you want to replace all the chrome trim, stainless, or you have the stainless redone, new paint, new interior, engine rebuild, training rebuild. But we usually handle that end of it, everything. We're a full service shop. It comes from anything from a hose here for a heater, to air conditioning hoses, to wire loom. We get it all for you. But a lot of it comes down to researching, and a lot of time is spent researching for parts. So we use the internet for a lot of research in the shop. They use the internet, just trying to find the best price for our customers. There's a lot of manufacturers out there. You cut through the chase. Basically, the same companies in Taiwan make all the parts, different label, same company. At home there, you'll see Golden Star Auto Parts, you'll see Dynacorn, you'll see Goodmark. you'll see Keystone. These companies are all importers from overseas, and most of them are the same parts. So if we go to, say, for a Golden Star, for instance, and they don't have the part in stock, we'll go to Goodmark to get it, just because they have it and it's the same part. So we'll shop price as well for our customers. When the price is good, customers are always happy. All these books now, they're all available online from these manufacturers, say importers, that make our job easier. Now, if you're looking for the Concours restoration, we try to use mostly NOS parts, which is new old stock parts. New old stock parts meaning it's either an original from '65, say for a Mustang, and it was still on the shelf for all these years and never used. Then there's service replacement parts that were made up to the mid-'80s. You can still get some Ford tooling parts. Dennis Carpenter Industries owns all the Ford tooling dies and does have parts available off the original tools. Now, a lot of these wholesalers might not have these parts available, so then we have to go to plan C, is look on eBay. And we hate to go to eBay, but sometimes you're forced to. We do bill for our time and material for research and parts. We do it at a reduced rate because I have to employ guys to sit here and research the part for you. We can also fabricate parts for you too as well. As you've seen from the videos, we have a full fabrication shop where we can make anything. Also, we have access to CNC machines as well too, which we haven't showed those to you yet, but hopefully we'll show you those in the future, where CNC machines can cut and make any piece you need, that if we can't find it, we can do it. Being a judge in the Mustang Club, what we want to do is, say for instance, spark plug wires, okay, for a 289 engine. The original ones are very difficult to find in perfect condition for judging. Well, today they reproduce the spark plug wires and you're not even close to the original ones. What we can do is, when we're judging the car, we'll see, hey, there's the correct markings on them, we'll overlook that as far as being a judge because we know you can't find the original plug wires. Comes down to spark plugs. You have the Autolite spark plugs in the Mustangs, because at that time Ford owned Autolite. Well, on the judging, you want to look for the Autolite star on the spark plugs. Well, today Autolite plugs do not have stars on them, so let's let it go with the wording Autolite. Like I said, if you're trying to do a home run restoration Concours build, you want to try to find the absolute best you can find. But sometimes it's a 2-3 year project. And also here at Buckeye too, we do parts locating service for you as well. We have, like I said, multiple suppliers we can go to, multiple salvage yards that have rust-free parts. It's one of the most important things is making sure your parts are here when your project begins. And if you're at home doing your own project, make sure you buy the right parts. Thanks for watching Cruising with the Buckeye Guys.
Stay tuned for more cruising from the Cleveland Aquarium. Now back to cruising.
It's a 53 Dodge Meadowbrook two-door wagon. Been sitting in a garage for 40 years till we found it. Basically went over the whole car and redid all the suspension, redid all the interior. Sticking with mostly original paint, we dialed it up a little more to resemble a tin Woody. Dodge didn't make a tin Woody, GM did, but I like that look, and being a two-door wagon, it's just more desirable for me.
And you hand painted all this wood yourself?
Yeah, I did all the wood graining, the patina on the roof, all the accents on the interior, wood grain as well. And I mean, the car is basically a restored frame-off restoration. It just doesn't look like one.
Because wood was not common past the 1950s.
Yeah, 1950 kind of when all the wood went away. Probably the Department of Transportation said it was unsafe. So.
And I love the rusted look that you did for the top of the car as well.
Well, like the hood on the car and the fenders, this is all original still. It's the paint job is 60-something years old. It's the original paint, so I had to fix a few things on the roof. So when I repainted it, I decided to keep it with the rest of the car, giving it the distressed look. No, it's only original paint once. I mean, you button up what is serious and needs repainted, and we like to do minimal paint work when they're this nice to begin with. I mean, the car came out of a garage after 40 years. It was all chalky looking, and you know, you're thinking repaint it, and as soon as we started buffing it, it started to shine and the color came back up. We're like, oh no, we're not going to paint this one.
The copper paint on the tires is beautiful.
Yeah, we actually, when we were building the suspension, had a set of old white walls that we threw on, and they happen to have a copper center. So I just went and I said, I know I'm going to do them copper, and I made up my own color and just tie it in with the car. The copper goes well with the green.
What is it about station wagons that you love so much?
I grew up in them. My dad didn't have a Camaro or a Mustang or a muscle car, so we were always in wagons or vans, so I've stuck with that. Most of them had wood grain on them, so I always liked the wood grain. And
now, this car isn't just for show, though. You do drive it on a daily basis.
I drive it all the time. Whether the weather's nice or not, I mean, if it's raining, if it's sunny, it doesn't matter. It's built to drive daily.
So you said a lot of people have helped you build this car. It's not just you solely.
Oh yeah, I use all my favors. I do a lot of things paint-wise and patina-wise for people, so they take care of me when I need taken care of.
And what's it like when you're here at the car show to see so many cars that you have personally painted be out for show and people checking them out?
This is actually one where a lot of cars I've done are here. I mean, usually it's not like that. I go to a lot of out-of-state stuff. So they're all my friends. It makes it easy to hang out.
Thank you to Will Burge and Kelly Graphics out in Milan, Ohio. Thank you to Mike and Matt with Ground Pounders Custom Car Show and the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. I'm Leah Haslage. See you next time on Cruisin'.